What's up guys, Cave Productions here. So I just got my ROG Ally early, well 2 days early because they were supposed to ship out on the 30th of June, but I got mine on the 28th, so that's pretty cool. Since I got mine early, let's do an unboxing of it. So peeling away the plastic and getting rid or slicing the tape on both sides of the box, we can open up the box into two halves. We can see that the ROG Ally is right on top with a piece of card over it telling you how to power on the device and where to charge. Moving that to the side, we have the ROG Ally itself wrapped in a piece of protective plastic, and under that is your paperwork. There is a piece of cardboard and these sections below hold your power brick on the right side and the plug and cable on the other side. And that's all you get in the box. There is no case, there's no stickers, there are no other accessories. So that is a little disappointing that there's no case, since the case costs about $59.90 Singapore dollars, and I wasn't able to really get my hands on one during the redemption period, and also I can't figure out where to buy one in Singapore, so I also can't test that case out, unfortunately. Now we can remove the protective plastic from the Ally, and then we have the ROG Ally. Now the plastic does have some sort of instructions on it, which I have no idea what they're trying to tell me, but I don't think that they are too important, as I have made it pretty far without caring about those instructions. So that was pretty much the unboxing experience, but I did forget one part of the unboxing, which is this little paper cardboard stand, which can be found underneath the top half of the box. So be careful not to throw the box out before checking underneath the top half of the box, as this is where the little cardboard stand is. It's nothing remarkable, to be honest. It's just a piece of paper cardboard, but it is cool to have, and you can just stand up your ROG from time to time, which is cool. So I spent the rest of the day pretty much setting up the Ally and installing my games. The setup process is pretty much what you expect from a Windows 11 machine, meaning you do have to sign into your Microsoft account, which isn't a problem for me since I have Xbox Play Anywhere games, but for some people I can see how that could be a bit annoying. The device is also set up and recognized as a tablet, so it defaults to tablet mode on Windows 11, which is great for this kind of handheld device. However, I did run into some problems, which I will talk about more in my full review. Before we wrap all of this up, let's go over some of the specs of this device. So this Ally is using the AMD Z1 Extreme APU with Radeon graphics. It has a TDP of between 9 to 30 watts, which is the advantage that the Ally has over the Steam Deck, which is kept at about around 15 watts. It also comes with 16GB of LPDDR5 RAM, which is solid, but it is very fast RAM. I think 6400 mega transfers per second, which is basically some of the fastest RAM you can get on any device as of now. It does also come with a 512GB NVMe SSD, which is user upgradable, but it is the smallest 2230 size, so do be careful when you're going out to get a replacement SSD for your Ally. The Ally has a very nice 7-inch 1080p IPS LCD display with a refresh rate of 120Hz. It is also 16:9, which is okay, I guess, for gaming, since most games are in 16:9 anyways, and it also achieves a peak brightness of 500 nits, which is decent and good enough for not broad daylight, but outdoor gaming in general, maybe in a more shaded environment. So let's go over the exterior of the Ally. So on top of the Ally, we have a USB-C port for charging and data transfer at speeds of, if I'm not wrong, USB 3.2 Gen 2, so that could be about 20 gigabits per second. It also does support DisplayPort 1.4, which is nice. Beside the USB-C port, we have the XG mobile port, which is a proprietary port by ASUS, which is kind of like a PCIe connector for external GPUs. Beside that, we have the micro SD card slot, which you can use to expand your Ally's storage if 512GB is not enough, or if you already upgraded your SSD and you feel like you need more storage. You can game off of the SD card in the micro SD card slot. However, there have been some reports of how the connector kind of stopped working because people are running very highly intensive games off of the SD card, so do be cautious about that. And to the side of the micro SD card slot, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is essential for low latency gaming audio. So on the other side of the USB-C port, we also have the volume up and down buttons, which are nice. We have the charging indicator as well as activity indicator, and to the right of that we have the power button, which also doubles as a fingerprint scanner. The layout of the ROG Ally is very similar to that of an Xbox controller, which I very much prefer and like, since I've pretty much just played Xbox all my life. So the joysticks are in the exact same position as you find on an Xbox controller, as well as D-pad and the ABXY buttons. It even has the menu button and the, if I'm not wrong, view buttons that you find on an Xbox controller. It also has the armory crate button over here and a control panel button on the left. The speakers are found below the D-pad and the right joystick, and they do sound pretty good in general, though I'll talk more about that in the full review. On the top of the controller again, we have the two bumpers, the right and left bumper, as well as the triggers, which are very comfortable to use. If we go over to the back of the device, we can see that there are two programmable buttons over here, which is similar to that of an Xbox Elite controller and also the Steam Deck. However, the Steam Deck and the Elite controller does have 4 buttons, while the Ally only has 2. So this has been a bit of a learning curve for me, since I have become too accustomed or too used to the Elite controller, and so now, for example, I map this to A and B, so maybe I can only jump and crouch and slide, but I can't have my X or Y buttons, which I usually use for reload and switching weapons. I have to do that via the face buttons. So there has been a bit of learning curve there, but I'll also talk about that more in my full review. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the ROG Ally in terms of the unboxing experience and the overview of the Ally in general. A lot more will come in my full review, so do subscribe if you haven't, so that you can be one of the first to see the full review when it drops. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.